Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully installed as a React Router DOM 6, right? And also I have created some of the page as the home page, contact page, and then about page. So everything right now I want to add in our body. Here I want to create, and also there is another page as a menu. Everything I want to use it with the React Router DOM. Then we are able to redirect it to the home page, contact page, or rather than the about page. So if you want to do that work, before doing I want to update our this navigation menu. Like when you make it as a mobile view, here you can see they have no toggler. That means I want to do when that will be into the mobile view, then one of the toggler will be loaded. If you click it, then that will be load all that our menu. So if you want to do that work, if you go to that React, that means if you go to that Google and if you run with the React Bootstrap, I want to go to that React Bootstrap. If they have another components, simply go to that components and then our navbar, right? And this navbar here, you can see that is also one of the navbar. Before I used this one, maybe this one, right? Before I use this one, and if you minimize it, and here you can see they have no toggler. But if you go to our first one, and that is our first one, you can see that is the toggler. So now I want to use this type of one of the toggler. So if you want to use it, then that is our first one. That means that is our navbar and navbar first one, right? So right now better I want to copy it. I want to use this one. So I copy it. Okay, I simply copy it. And now in our navigation, I want to go to that header, and then that is our navigation, right? So before I have used this one, so right now I want to change it. So I simply paste it. Okay, I simply paste it, and also there is another drop down. I don't need this any drop down. I simply remove this drop down, all that option, and now it's pretty much clean. Okay, it's pretty much clean. Now if you go to and click as a save all, I have already loaded that navbar, container, and then nav, right? So now I want to do I will simply go there. That means in our page, let's check this out. Click as a refresh. Yeah, you can see it's now successfully loaded. And if you minimize it, yes, you can see that is the actual our toggler. So I want to use this toggler, then that will be interactive. And also I want to change that style. So if you want to change it, I want to make it as a busy, not that light. Here I want to use as a dark. Okay, then that will be as a black. I make it as a dark. Click as a save all. Now go there, refresh it. Yes, you can see it's now become dark. But right now our text also is a dark now. But I want to add some of the CSS for this. If you want to add some of the CSS, I have already discussed about that things with you. Only you have to do that is better. I want to do that is in our src, right? Into the src area. Here I want to create one of the folder. Okay, I want to create one of the folder, and I just name it as assets. So assets folder, I simply create one of the assets folder, and into this assets folder, here I want to create another new folder, and I just name it as a CSS. Okay, I name it as a CSS, and also I want to create another folder. I just name it as a images. Okay, I just simply name it as the images. I simply created two of this folder in our asset. So into the CSS folder, I want to create another new file, and I just name it as that will be one of the CSS as a main. Okay, main.css. So I simply loaded one of the main.css in here. So now I want to do in our navigation, into this navigation, first of all I want to load our this main.css. If you want to import it, then you have to make it as import, right? So that will be the import, and import will be from our folder name. And from here, that is a navigation, we have to go outside one folder, there is a second folder, then we are able to access this asset, right? So I want to go outside again from this folder, and now you can see that is our assets folder. So now to go to that assets folder, and then I have created the CSS folder, and then I have created all the CSS as a main.css, right? I simply import this main.css. So now we are able to access our main CSS, and here that is our home link, and that is our link, right? So I have already installed that React Router DOM. So now we are able to access that link. So in React.js, if you want to put some of the link, that will be not like that anchor tag. Here I simply remove this anchor tag, and also I remove this anchor tag. Okay, here we have to use it by the link, right? If you go to the documentation, into the documentation, that is the adding that link, you can see there is a that will be as a link, and then that will be as a link too. And also you have to input this link from to the React router dump. Okay, so now I want to use it. So here in particular that area, so that is our home, right? For the home I want to put on the link. I simply loaded that link. You can see it's also suggested, and it will be comes from to the React router dump. So if you now click as the enter, automatically that will be inputted that link from to the React router dump. Okay, so here there is a link, and now I simply loaded this link and I close this link. So I want to do here, I want to close this link. Okay, I close this link, and also here we have to close it. That means the link will be as a close. So that is our home route. For the home route, I want to use that our link to will be which place, the home route as a slash, right? So I simply loaded that to slash, and also here our color I want to change it. So right now that is become black. I want to better first the first time where I copy it, and because here there is some of the page we have to add, like there is a 4 page, one will be as a home, another will be as a menu. I loaded that menu page will be actually our this page, right? So that will be our menu page. I want to do that will be menu, and then that will be the about page, and also I want to load another page as a contact. Okay, that will be as a contact page. So for the menu I want to create this type of one of the URL as a to and then slash menu, and for the about I want to create another URL. Our URL will be as a about, and for the contact I want to create that our route will be as a contact. Okay, so that will be our menu, about, and then contact. So now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, now you can see there is a home, menu, about, and then contact. Great. And also our URL is updated as a slash contact slash about slash menu and then home. For the home I use that as a slash for the reasons that is our home directory as a 300 port, which is totally fine. So now I want to add some of the CSS class. So here that is our link. After this I want to use that class name. Okay, class, that will be the class name, and class name I want to create one of the class name as a whatever name you choose. I name it as a main menu. Okay, main menu, this type of one of the class name I want to add. I better copy it, and now in our main CSS I have already imported that main CSS. You can see I have already imported that main.css. So into this area I want to create this class as a main, that is a main menu, and into this main menu I want to put some of the color. Okay, that will be as a color. I simply loaded this color, and here I want to use that as a white color as a hash, and then 6f. So I simply loaded the 6f. And also they have one of the underline. You can see they have also one of the underline. I want to remove this underline. So if you want to remove it, then that will be the text decoration. So text decoration I will make it as a none. Okay, I simply loaded that none, and also better I want to add some of the font size. Okay, font size I make it as a 18 pixel. So I make it as an 18 pixel. Great. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, now that should be updated. Now click as a refresh. You can see it's now successfully updated as a home, and our font is updated, text decoration is executed, and also color is become changed as a home. Great. So also I want to use that same class. Okay, that means there is a class name I want to add for our menu. After this I want to use this class name, I use this class name, and also I use this class name for the contact. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, this is home, menu, about, contact. And if you now check with our mobile view, yes, you can see there is our toggler is successfully loaded, right? Now that is pretty much interactive, which is great. Okay, which is great. So I want to do here, if you want to load some of the images, you can also load that images. So for doing this I want to do, if you go to your exercise folder, I have already uploaded one of the logo.png. I simply copy it from to the exercise file, and now if you go to your project, into the project, that is a src, I have already created one of the folder into the asset, css, and the image. Right here I want to paste it. So if you want to access this image on this very easy process, like in particular that position, I want to load one of the image. Okay, so before loading that image, I also want to add that link. Right now we don't need this href. I simply remove it, and I want to load here. I just simply remove it, and I want to load that link. Okay, I simply loaded that link. I close this link in here, and for this link, that will be as a two will be as a home directory. Okay, so that will be redirected to our home directory. So into the link area, I want to load one of the image. So for the first time, we have to import it. So I simply import, that will be, I just name it as a logo. Okay, I just name it as a logo. That will be comes from our which place, that is the same location. For the first time, we have to go outside from our one folder, and then the another folder, and then the asset, and then images. And into this images folder, I have already saved one of the image. If you go to asset, images, I have saved it as a logo.png, right? So I simply name it as a logo.png. Great. Okay, so here I simply name that logo.png. I take that thing's name with the logo. So that is one of the image tag. Here I want to do into the link position, I want to use one of the image tag. Okay, so that will be the image. So image, and I want to close this image, and into this image area here I want to use that as a src. Src will be what? Into the src area here, only we have to load our this name. Whatever the name, I name it as a logo. So I simply pass this logo in here. So right now into the link position, our logo should be loaded. Now let's check this out. If you click as a save all, and now if you go to our page, now refresh it, you can see our logo is now successfully loaded in here. If you go to our mobile responsive mode here, you can see our toggler is also successfully loaded. Great. So our menu is now updated here. That is our images, the home, menu, contact, about, and then contact. Now we have to add all that route. Okay, I have already named that route. Our route will be as a home, then menu, about, and then contact. So now we have to create all the route. I want to create all the route in our body area. Okay, so how can do that work in our next video? I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.